So I started at a different club in Madison until about like seventh grade, eighth grade into that kind of time. And right after then, it was like right around COVID, I would say, maybe right before COVID. Uh, I think he had bought the club that I was at. And so I had grown up, like, I remember at my club, we had a lot of guys from rival schools to Arrowhead, which was a school Ben went to, which had a lot of AWA guys. It was Stoughton, there's Stoughton area. And they were always like, I remember the older kids were like, nah, Screamling's dumb. The Askren guys are mean and like all this nonsense, like all this stuff that I was just like, oh yeah, like, yeah, you're right. Like Scrambling is stupid. Like, yeah, those guys are weird and bendy. I want to be jacked and strong and not bendy. And then like I got older and like learned more wrestling, and Ben bought my club. It was Tristan Moran was the guy I worked with initially.
Yeah.
He was an old W wrestler. That dude, he made me really fall in love with wrestling. Like I was like, yeah, I'm not going to quit wrestling. And I was just doing wrestling. That dude made me fall in love with wrestling because he was just such a positive energy. And I think I did. He bought my club, and then I started going to Ben's after I lost in the state tournament my freshman year. I lost to Mitchell before that, but then I was like, if I want to get to this level, I need to start wrestling with these guys. And so my mom started driving me to Heartland, and I started going to Ben's, and Madison got its own AWA at the club that I used to go to, like, because he bought that club. And so then I was just an AWA guy. I went to another club for a little bit, but Ben and Max, I was just like, this is the system. I like this stuff. And that's kind of how I landed on it.
Yeah. When you say you wrestled Mitchell, was that Mitchell Mesenbrink you wrestled it?
Yeah, Mitchell Mesenbrink. Yes, Mitchell Mesenbrink. Yeah. I was a 52 my freshman year. And it was a COVID year my freshman year. So if it was the year it was normally supposed to be, I wrestled 138 that year at Super 32. And I remember first round I drew Levi Haynes, and I think I almost got teched or something like that. My mom is like, I'm in the hotel room. My mom's like, oh yeah, like I don't know who you're for, because I don't think you get seated at all when you're a freshman. And my mom's like, I don't know, you might have a tough match or something. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I look at the bracket, I'm like, oh, nice. And so that was my first match at 138. And if we would have had a normal year, I think I would have been 138 the whole year. But our season started like mid-January, and over Christmas and Thanksgiving, I think I just ate a little too much, and I was like, I'm gonna be 52 this year. And
That's
so I
a lot
wrestled
too much.
a lot. Yeah, it was a lot.
That's a lot. I mean, if you can handle
38
it.
was a stretch, but 52 was probably unnecessary as well. I probably could have been a 44, I think, or 45 at the time. The weight class was 145.
Did Mitchell wrestle the way he does that back then? Just like a wind-up toy?
Dude, he was different. Like I remember I was really, really good friends with Mitchell in high school. And so, and I'm still good friends with him. We don't talk as much, obviously, because just different colleges, and and guys too are just different like that. You could just see a guy when you come back and you're like, it's like you never missed a beat. But girls are different. I have to call my mom all the time. But I would say Mitchell like wrestled like that. It was almost, how I would describe it, I felt like, was like he was investing into all these little pieces because he's so diverse with his attacks, right? Like he does so much. He's great everywhere. He was investing so much that when it all clicked, it just boom, he just jumped. You know what I'm saying? So I think he just like split his time up a lot. And then when it clicked for him, which I would say is like US Open his senior year of high school, when he went on that tear. I would say I went to a tournament with him before that. It was a Journeyman World Classic, and he won that too. And he beat a lot of really good guys in lieu to his final, or to winning it. And I remember like that, man, this dude's different than the dude that wrestled in the high school state tournament in the finals and won like 5-4 or 5-3 or something like that. And I think it was just a lot of little pieces. But no, at the time, my freshman year, he was a junior. He wasn't the same that he is now, I would say. But it was still, I mean, I probably, in my head, my little 14, well, I don't know how old you are, your freshman year, 14, 15, I probably thought he was really good or something like that.
Yeah, sure.
I was probably like super nervous for it.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm sure he was good, and he's probably just a lot better now.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so wrestling at AWA, I actually talked to Ben, told him we were going to do this, and he brought up the patient panda.
Oh my goodness, yeah. That's it's so funny. I get so many nicknames at Mizzou now too, but yeah, like people ask me sometimes where the red panda thing started, and it started when I was U16 and I won Fargo that year. Every match, like Ben was just like, just go be patient. And like, I think my semi or my quarter, I take him down with probably a drag, and I get a trap arm, and I tech him in like, I was quick, like sub 20 seconds maybe. And I walk off the mat. I'm like, yeah, I was like, I seriously said this because I was like, man, I was like being really patient that match because I was like moving forward, but it was only 20 seconds and he laughed in my face and he's like, yeah, sure, okay. And then so I just was called the patient. I don't know why panda, maybe because I'm like deceptive. I don't know why panda stuck, but it was patient panda. And then a couple guys were like, no, it should be red panda. And then I was called red panda. And now at Mizzou, our strength coach calls me Red Dragon, and then he calls me RD. And so now he'll just say RD, and I like look around, and I'm like, oh, I know it's my name, but everyone else looks around. They're like, who's RD? And I'm like, nah, that's me. It's Red Dragon. So I got a bunch of different nicknames, but yeah, Patient Panda was due to impatience, I would say, and then it just for some reason stuck.
Yeah, yeah. I think it was more like reminder to be patient, right?
Yeah, exactly,
Panda. Like
exactly.
he needs to
Yeah,
work
because
on
I
patience.
think yes, exactly. Because I think kids, and I think me at the time was probably like I think I was the one seed, so I was like, I feel like guys who are touted to win want are more comfortable when they have a score, and I think anyone is, but especially the guy that's supposed to win is more comfortable when they have a score in the bag and they already have points on the board. And so I think they were telling me to be a bit more. Don't worry, like if you're going to the second period and you don't have a score, it's not a big deal. You'll be fine.
Yeah,
And I think that was something I kind of was working on.
sure. So, you're at this club in Madison, they buy it, you know, you're wrestling with Askren. When did you realize? I assume they're doing, I don't know if they're doing something different or there's something about it that's different and they're having lots of success. And when did you like, how quickly did you realize, like, wow, something's going on here and bendy and scrambly actually is okay?
Yeah, for real. I went to a Funky Fresh camp, which is like a scramble camp that Ben puts on before I had gone to AWA, and I remember thinking like, what is this? I've never seen any of this in my life. This can't be real. Like it was it's probably the best camp I've ever been to. I mean, I went to camps a lot as a kid, all the Jordan camps, like everything. I felt like Granby camp. I learned how to do Granby, and
Yeah.
I remember thinking like this camp like actually changed. I mean, every camp you can learn something, but I remember that camp specifically. I was like, I had never seen this stuff or anything remotely close to this stuff before, and so it was pretty cool. And so I did that, and then I went. What else? I'm trying to think. I Oh yeah. I at Ben and Max's, I felt like you're saying, like, did I know that something special was going on? To be honest, no. At the time I walked in the room, I didn't really think much about it. There just happened to be a lot of really good wrestlers in the state in the room. And I feel like it didn't really click with me until like later while I was there, maybe like 2 or 3 years in, that I was like, wow, that was a really good crew. And I got to see the younger guys come up into that age, and I was like, man, I used to say stuff like, you guys don't know, you don't remember what it was like when it was me and Noah and Mitchell and Mirasolas. You guys are all soft now. Like I would tease them, and so it was pretty crazy. I think the reason I liked it so much was because it was genuinely like the best part of my day was to walk into practice in Heartland and see all my friends, and everyone was just so happy and positive and like wanted to be there. And for some reason they were so funny. I felt like we had like four stand-up comedians. Like everyone just had some funny jokes. And you would almost just want to go to practice to hear the jokes. Like the one-liners people would drop off and mess with Ben. And this was all around the time like when I first got there, Ben had a Jake Paul punching bag and with Jake Paul's face on it hung up. And so like everyone, it was just such a fun time to be at. It still is, but it was such a fun time to be at AWA. It was just so fun. And then I loved going to Madison because Tristan was so much energy. It's just a baller energy. You walk in, I would wrestle with Tristan for an hour, then we'd coach the ninjas, which is like our 6 to 8 year old kids, and then I do high school practice. And man, it was so fun with him, and he's so good with the little kids. Like some of the stuff the little kids would do is so funny. I just remember one story of this. I remember sitting there and this little kid is like, "Can I go get a drink?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he goes and we're like, we hear crunching, and we like are looking at each other. We're like, "What's that sound?" He's eating chips. He's eating chips on the mat in his pocket, and he's wearing Jordans. And we're like, "No, like you can't eat during practice, dude." Like it was so funny, but I just enjoyed it. I loved going to. I mean, I did a lot of hard schoolwork And I just loved taking a break from that and going and doing something. I just loved it. I feel like it was never hard. It was just always so fun.